At behest of the dwarves, the light warriors pursued a man named Guzuko, who had stolen one of the dwarves' treasured horns. Having retrieved the stolen horn, the light warriors returned it to its rightful place, only to have been tailed by Guzuko, who used the opportunity to steal both horns, which he used to gain access to the fire crystal. Not intending on letting Guzuko have his way with the crystal's power, the light warriors once more gave chase, and put a stop to the villain's plot. With the blessing of the fire crystal, they returned to the cave of the dwarves, and learned that the citizens of Tokkul were now in imminent danger as the adventure continues.
And now you can't run. Some people just straight up lose the run command with certain jobs. You don't have any arrows yet, so you can't really do much. Just cast Toad on that guy. And you fight, and you use magic. Bolt 2! Chomp chomp! Toad! It failed, whatever. You wouldn't have really accomplished much by attacking anyway. Bolt 2! Alright, that's 2 down. Now to finish off the others. We also got new victory animations. Daryl, skill up. Gadia, skill up. I would be using arrow in the meantime until Azure gets some arrows, but he can't do that. He can't cast arrow. So instead, just punch this seahorse creature in the face, and then its friend strikes at you, but you swiftly dodge. And then I come in and bash it over the head before it can retaliate itself. And then Gadia electrocutes the other one. Okay, so there's Tokkul, which is our destination, but I want to head to the Fat Chocobo first. Do not worry, Elder Tree. Soon, we will break Hyne's curse over you and bring peace back to this realm. We just have something else we need to do real quick on the way. Like burning these werewolves to death. Gatai chopping them into pieces, and then Gadia finishing them off by burning them. Because we don't have silver, so instead we just rely on completely incinerating them. Unless you're that one robot chicken sketch.
The book says he's still not dead. It has to be a silver bullet.
But that's a bunch of crap!
Bomb shard, perfect. Chocobos! Come to us, Fat Chocobo. We need your assistance, Carrot. Presenting the Fat Chocobo. Alright. Take the books, take the arrows. I can take the flame mail and sell, same with the killer bow, except I can't carry anymore. I need those. Okay, so we've got our arrows now. Fire, bolt, and ice arrows. Attack up to 40. That's much better. Having arrows to shoot out of your bow is much better than just smacking things with your bow. How many of each arrow do I have? Not a whole lot, but I can always buy more. I also have the 20 Medusa arrows, but I don't want to use those quite yet. I'm just going to throw away this leather hat. Oh wait, no, I equipped the arrows, meaning I have space. So take the killer bow. That is the bow I have equipped, right? Yes. So I can sell that now. And then you can just keep the Medusa arrows for now. And now let's go into this town and sell some stuff. Killer bow, flame mail, leather hat, mithril ring, sure. That's not super expensive. If I need another one of those, I can always just buy another one. Yeah, Salamand sword. That frees up some space. I could have done a bit more with the Chocobo back there, but I have stuff that I wouldn't mind just throwing away if absolutely necessary. Now there's something I want to go check real quick. Before moving on, I want to go back to an older town where I can buy copper bracelets and see if the ranger can use those. He can't use the mithril bracelet, but maybe he can use the copper one. I don't want to waste my arrows on these guys though, just because I don't have too many. So just cast Cure on the party for the time being. As your skill up. He's becoming skilled with his new job. Oh well, I just wanted to make sure. I know he can equip stuff on his arm slot eventually, but I think it's mostly just like special stuff that you can't really buy, but you have to find. Skill up, skill up. And now our next destination is Tockle. And we've got a dungeon coming up. And our like 2 battles from leveling. So you know what that means. Let's do the thing. Assuming I have inventory space. This could be tricky. Go to Knight. It has higher vitality than the monk and you can become it for cheaper. But now you don't have space. Sell the Maiden Kisses and the Luck Mallet. I can't cast Arrow anymore, so all of Azure's level 2 magic points are gonna go towards Minnie and Toad, so if enemies actually do cast those on me, I can just spend those to undo them. You cost a shit ton to become a knight, so we're not doing that. You're going a monk. Daryl level up, Azure level up, Gaudi level up. Gatai still doesn't level up with everybody else, but that's because now he's ahead. Now let's get back to our standard jobs. Black Wizard Gaudia. Equipped with your mighty magical staves of ice and flame. Unequip that armor for a second. So you can return to the mighty hunter, armed with your bow and your bolt arrows, sure. But we are not done yet because, as that guy said, and as we also learned from the fairies back at the Living Forest, Hyne can change his weakness by using his wall change ability, but the scholar can see through that deception, which is why I am going to don the robes of the scholar for the time being. I have just enough. Scholar! Yeah! Solid strength, agility, and intellect, which I assume his intellect means that he can do high damage with attack items, but attack items still just do like no damage even when used by him, so I just don't get it. But his vitality is complete and utter garbage. He's a solid fighter though, just no vitality, and even though he's a front range fighter, he doesn't get that high of armor. Light book. Equip your books, bring your attack up to that, and then equip the scholar stuff. Okay, I wonder if you could have used that copper bracelet. Put people back in their rows. So for the time being, this is our party. And now to the inn. Okay, good. It'll only cost me 2 to switch back to monk once we're done with scholar, because I'm only using the scholar for the upcoming part. And because of how important it is, I shall lead the party. Also gonna buy 20 potions. Now that we don't have a white mage, we need more healing items to compensate. And now onward to Tockle to save it from Hyne's evil. Hello, monsters. You stand in our way. See, the scholar has peep and scan for commands. Peep shows an enemy's hit points, scan shows an enemy's weakness. But these enemies aren't too much of a problem. So let's just take them out. They stand in our way. They stand between us and Tockle. Whack, whack, whack. 340 damage because of double lightning books. And they also has fire books and ice books if needed. No problem, we got through that battle without spending magic or taking any damage. Putting us in a good spot. There, and just like that I have the capacity I need to switch back to monk once all of this is finished. So we save, and then it's into Tockle. Tormented people of Tockle, we are here to rescue you. What? Can't move. Ugh. Now, get to them. Oh no, it's an ambush. That's why those secrets in the trees existed. Clank, bang, clack. All right, take them away. They'll make fine slaves at Sir Hyne's castle. Blah, 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 blah. Castle Hyne. We have been taken prisoner. Hello. Hyne gained some kind of power and is given in to the desires born of that power. Hyne is hiding the king's sword somewhere. Interesting. Hello, king. I am King Argus of the castle north of the desert, but I suppose no one is there now. The soldiers are being controlled by Hyne. Hyne used to be my trusted assistant, cough cough. Are you alright? I'm fine. Please defeat Hyne. Please defeat Hyne. Why did I say that line twice? This castle was made by uprooting the eldest tree of the living forest. Oh no, Hyne is Argus's minister. After the great earthquake, he was possessed by an evil power. So that is what's going on. Secret passage, hello. What? Defeat Sir Hyne? I'm a servant of Sir Hyne. Die! As I take a step away from you and then attack. Attack! 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 Fire! Just beat the shit out of this demon with books and swords and arrows and flame. Whack whack! Simple. Yeah, such an energetic, jumpy victory. And that's all that is. Hello. I'm already done for. Use this to become tiny. Escape through the hole in the wall in the corner. Receive luck mallets. Meh. If we go in this hole, impossible, we'd have to be tiny. Yes, we have to be tiny, and fortunately that guy just happened to have exactly 8 luck mallets. Just in case you wandered in here, unhealed and unprepared, or you didn't have the mini spell, they give you the luck mallets that you need to shrink everybody so long as you don't misclick, and then you go through the hole and then unshrink. I feel like I could just use my magic instead though, because I don't need my level 2 magic for anything else. And then I could have got some money by selling those mallets. But whatever, he gave his life to hand them to us, so I might as well use them for their purpose. Oh no, mummies! They're probably weak to fire! So, switch to flame books. And then attack! And then you switch to flame arrows. And then attack! And then you just attack that thing. And then, as insurance, fire on everybody. Oh, strike first, they're done. Solid hit. Not so solid hit, whack whack. Fire! Whoosh! Ignite the mummies into dust, as they don't die. So much for igniting them into dust. Actually, have everybody attack the Lamia thing. I have to assume the mummies are almost dead, so just hit them with fire. While everybody else focuses on the Lamia. Cha-cha! Ugh. Pathetic. Oh no! My plan for defeating the pharaohs was thwarted. This will finish them off, though. The pharaoh saw what I was planning, so he glared at Gaudi so hard that Gaudi just fell into a hypnotic trance. Gatai, skill up. Here's a bulbous thing. So we are inside the eldest tree, turned into an evil, demonic fortress by Hyne, who is possessed by some sort of power. And now we must defeat him, rescue the people of Argus, and liberate the tree from his darkness, and return the tree to the living forest, while also saving the people of both Argus and Takal from being the villainous Hyne's slaves. Ah! Let's scan this guy, and then attack. See what these Lemwraiths are weak to, if anything. Fire did solid damage, but let's be sure. Scan! Weak versus holy power. I don't have holy arrows anymore, apparently. I guess I sold them. So just beat the crap out of this thing. Good job, Gatai. Azure just hunkered down and not wanting to waste more arrows, leaving it up to Gatai to finish the job. Ooh, holy arrows. Those will come in handy. I'm pretty sure they're just straight up weaker, though. 41, 24. Yeah, they're significantly weaker, but they might still be better against enemies that are weak against them. At the very least, it'll give me an option to save my stronger arrows if the enemy is weak against holy arrows. Hello, doors. Hello, things. Attack that, attack that, attack that. And then, fire 2 on the group. Chunk. Dodge. Or deflect with your shield, whichever. Ugh. He's taking so much less damage now that he has a shield. Shields are weird in this game. I feel like they're good, but also suck. Because, yeah, you take way less damage, but you're also inflicting significantly less damage. So, it's weird. Like, I'm not sure how worthwhile it is to have one over the other. This thing looks like it would be weak to ice, so let's try ice while also trying to confirm that weakness with scan. No weak point, okay. So I can just beat her up with anything and it won't matter. Whack whack! Behold my books! Die to knowledge! The pen really is mightier than the sword. Azure skill up, Gaudia skill up. Hello, door. Do you lead to treasures? Yes, money, money. An ambush. Attack. 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 And then fire 2! Oh no! They saw through the strategy again. Oh no, I forgot I had the ice arrows equipped instead. Oh well, it still worked out. Whack! Yeah, see, he just does such less damage now, but at the same time... Uh-oh. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. You attack that guy. You attack that guy. Gaudia! There's another advantage to using a shield, though. Is now, Gatai will deal less damage to us. Whack, whack. But that also means it's harder to hit him to knock him out of the confusion. Oh, he stabbed himself! He refused to succumb to the confusion, so he took his blade and just turned it on himself. Doing so much damage. And now Azure's confused. And then I got bitch slapped. And then Azure also shoots himself. Our team refuses to turn on each other. We've grown so close, growing up with each other in the village of and going on this quest, that we have become such close friends that we refuse to hurt each other. Even when we are confused, our bond allows us to overcome our moment of weakness, to strike ourselves instead, to get to overcome the confusion rather than succumb to it. 3,000 monies, 3,300 monies. You sometimes have to swap jobs around, which is fine. You know, I feel like a lot of people complain about how this game does the jobs because of moments like this where it's like, use this job or you will die. But I don't mind it so much, partly because you do have the choice to not play by the game's rules. Certain parts might be harder, but you do have that choice, and a lot of parts are feasible without. Some parts are not. Some parts are a lot more forced with certain jobs than others. But something like this, you can get through this dungeon just fine without using a scholar. You don't need a scholar to do this. He just makes it a little bit, he just makes the boss a little bit easier. I'm just doing it because, since this is a recording, I want to show off that aspect, especially because there's no other point in the game when I will be using a scholar. Not that the scholar's a terrible job, it's just kind of underwhelming, I guess you could say, because it's supposed to be a fighter that takes advantage of enemy weaknesses with its elemental weapons, but it doesn't get enough weapons. This is a problem. But it doesn't get enough weapons, so eventually that advantage really falls off until the very end, when suddenly he gets new weapons, but even those aren't amazing. So I don't know, the Scholar's a weird job. It does what it needs to just fine. And also, it doesn't get much armor. So once you're much further in the game, its defense does not hold up for being a frontline fighter. Not to mention, the low vitality means if you're leveling up as a Scholar, you're getting no hit points. Now punch him next. So it's kind of a weird job. It has its purposes though. Just, I don't know, it's not one of my favorites. Oh, he missed himself! How do you even do that? He's so, discombobulated by the confusion effect that he couldn't even strike himself. Quick, Gatai, try to punch him again. Nice clock to the jaw snaps him out of it. And then Azure gets confused. Joke's on you, he doesn't have a weapon equipped, so I don't care if he's confused. I'll let him stay confused, I don't care. I'll just beat the crap out of you. As he punches himself. Another battle down. Skill up, level up. But yeah, there are certain parts in the game though where the job thing is a bit less interesting. Parts like this are fine because you have the choice to not do it, or parts when you're shrunken, it's like yes, you need to use magic users to be effective while minied, but you have a choice of which magic users you want to use in your party composition. I feel like the problem is people treat this game or go into it expecting a fully customizable experience with the job classes like you would expect from most RPGs. We got a King Sword, which will strengthen Gatai, bringing his attack from 50 or 46 up to 56, 10 more strength and same accuracy, okay. But yeah, people will see this and they don't like how that works, but the thing is, you can't think of the jobs in this game as your traditional job classes in an RPG, even though it is an RPG. So you would reasonably expect it to be like that, but it's really not. I feel like this game is a lot more enjoyable if you think about the jobs not as job classes in a conventional RPG sense, but rather as tools. They're weapons, their equipment that you give your characters to customize their abilities to overcome certain challenges. It's like if you're playing... I actually used this comparison recently when mentioning it to somebody else. It's kind of like if you're playing Mega Man. The jobs are more like weapons in Mega Man than they are your conventional job classes that you might see in an RPG, where the game is designed for you to use specific jobs to overcome specific challenges and adapt to those challenges by utilizing those jobs. And if you're not doing that, you're making the game harder on yourself than it needs to be, just like how if you're playing Mega Man and you're not using boss weaknesses, you're making it harder on yourself. It's kind of the same thing with this game. The jobs aren't meant to provide unlimited possibilities with your party customization. They're meant to be tools that you use to overcome the challenges presented before you, and naturally, just like any tool, specific jobs are better catered to overcoming the specific challenges. So sometimes you want to swap your jobs around a bit to accomplish different things, and it's the same thing with switching jobs to level up. Again, you're using the tools at your disposal, being your jobs and your capacity points, to maximize your gains when you level up. So that's just another example of how jobs in this game are more tools than they are party customization, in a manner of speaking. It's more about that. Now, of course, that's obviously not for everybody, but I do feel like the game can become more enjoyable when you accept that. When you accept the game for what it is, rather than trying to make it out into something that it's not, and wanting it to be something that it's not, because you can't accept what it actually is. Or it's not what you expected or wanted it to be because it's not what you would expect from an RPG. with these kinds of systems. Oh no! Quack, 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 quack. That said, there is still a decent amount of customization available to you. It's just, there are points in the game where you will struggle if you're not doing certain things. It's just but even then, you usually have the option to customize how you utilize those tools to reach the solution to the problem. Save one or two instances where the game is very much like, use this one specific job or it's game over. And I don't like those examples, but I like stuff like this where you can use the scholar to make the boss easier, or the magic things, or there's a boss later on who's super resistant to magic, so you want to use fighters. But do you want to use all fighters, or do you want to take a white mage with you to heal yourself, or would you want to use or do you want to change your white mage to a hunter to have better offensive capabilities in exchange for less magic, since you won't be able to do as much with magic against this boss anyway? But we're not at that point yet. That's just another example of a future part where the game tells you how to play or expects you to do certain things, and then it's up to you to decide and figure out the best way to utilize your tools to your advantage to overcome that obstacle. I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense to people, but that's how I feel about this game, and that's why I think it works. Yet, despite that, people will always complain about its lack of balance or whatever, when really I feel like the game is balanced just fine. You're just not playing it correctly, or not so much that you're not playing it correctly, but rather you're having unrealistic expectations because you're trying to make the game out to be something that it's not. Because you have these notions from other RPGs you've played and how they utilize job systems, so you expect this game to utilize the job system the same way, but it doesn't. This job system isn't about... I mean, it is about customizing your party, but it's also about having the tools at your disposal to overcome the game's challenges and utilizing those tools effectively. Ooh, new bow. Accuracy 92. If I equip this bow, my attack goes from 41 to 46. Azure has become stronger and quite a bit more accurate as well. Okay, let's press onward. Hello. Whack. Switch to the holy arrows to attack that guy, and then you also attack that guy. And then you, once again, let's try to blind the Lamias this time. Sleep keeps only hitting one of them. Let's see if blind has better success. Blind! Again, it only hits that upper left one every single time. And then the other one glares at Azure, and then Galia falls asleep. These enemies just like glaring at us to the point where we just succumb to their whims or whatever. Fortunately, he had weaker arrows equipped as he shot himself, or maybe not shot himself, but so much as took the arrow and stabbed himself in the arm. We are seeing a lot of instances of our confused characters attacking themselves. I know I was doing a bit about our camaraderie, making us not want to hurt each other, but I feel like it's becoming more and more canon with each instance of it actually happening. Fire! Ka-cha! Right in the shoulder, and then as the Lamia was trying to pull the arrow out, Daryl came and smacked her upside the head with a book, and she died. The idea of books as weapons is so dumb. Like when you really take a step back and think about it. Oh, nice crit. $240, Daryl skill up, Daryl level up, Azure level up, Galia skill up, Galia level up. I still have more hit points than Gatai for the time being, but as things currently stand, that will eventually change because the knight does have higher vitality than the monk. What am I looking for? Potions. Hello. You must be Hyne. Let's heal up.
magnificent! How lovely this power of darkness is! You cannot comprehend its splendor. With this power, I have mobilized a living tree, controlled an army, and now I shall become the ruler of this world. You cannot stop me. Perish!
What is it with every game? What is it with every boss in this game? Ending their villainous speech by saying that by telling you to die. Use the ice arrow for the moment, sure. And then you attack. And then you also attack for the moment. I want to find out what he's weak against. Ah, miss. Ah, miss. Ah, miss. Fire 2. Ugh. Scan. Weak versus fire. Okay. And this is why I was holding on to these items. Because this boss has ridiculously high physical evasion. So I've just been holding on to all these attack items for this specific battle to bypass that problem. Ah! Bomb shard! Ineffective. Gatai's intellect is just too shitty. Ah, 370! And then Daryl Bomb Shard, 342. And now we will attack. Those were all of our bomb shards. Fire arrow. Fight. Fight. And then fire. Cha-cha-cha, miss. It is possible to hit him with physical attacks like we just saw with Azure, but it's just very difficult. And I believe he's set to use wall change every couple turns, so this turn we scan. He absorbed fire, so I'm just gonna have you cast Cure on Gadia. You can attack, and you can attack. Cure! It's so weak now. Weak versus Thunder. Azure's Cure Magic is so crappy now that he's no longer an actual healer. Whack whack! Alright, Hyne is weak to Thunder now. So now we use Zeus's Rage. And after this battle, I'm gonna sell all these items. All these attack items anyway, the Zeus's Rage and the South Wind. If I have any of those left after this fight, I'm selling them. Because I will never use them after this point. Zeus's Rage! Ugh, I would maybe keep them if I was keeping myself as a scholar, but as it stands, it's just not worth bothering. Oh, he's dead. See, and without the scholar, you can beat him, but you have to keep guessing what his weakness is, which can lead to frequently healing him. Azure skill up, Gadia skill up. A voice from the walls. Thank you, warriors. What was that? I am the eldest tree of the living forest. I was put under a curse by Hyne. But thanks to you, the curse has been lifted. Thank you, light warriors. Now, let us take Hyne's captives back to their town and return to the living forest. Hello, everybody. You got out of jail somehow. Thanks. Thank you. All right, let's go home. It's a bit shaky, but please be patient. And now we're shaking. Oh, we're getting tossed around from the quaking tree. And this is how the game shows that with its limited graphics. We've arrived. Everyone get off now. Okay, let's go. Come with us. We leave at once. Hello, fairies. Thank you, I'm finally back.
Thanks to you, this forest has been saved.
The power of darkness is smothering the world. You four are the ones chosen by the light. Please, take this. Soon, the power of darkness will attempt to block your path. This will be of use. Received the Wind Fang to go with our Water Fang. I must sleep until my body returns to its original form. No one may enter this forest for 1,000 years. Warriors, I am truly in your debt. Now go, crush the darkness. And then we get booted out, and sure enough, if we try going back into the forest, it just doesn't let us. It like wiggles us around on the overworld, and nothing happens. And now that we have done that, I can get off being a scholar and go back to monk. Attack 68 with the 3 parts. Bleh. But accuracy 90, accuracy 80. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm done with the nunchucks. We're punching from now on. Headband. Unless these affect my accuracy significantly. 90, they do not. Okay. So I'm gonna sell those 3 parts once we get back to town. So we've done it! We, stopped Hyne's evil plot. And now, we have liberated Argus. Which means we can finally go and speak with King Argus and ask him about the airship. Because that is ultimately what we were trying to do through all of this, is rescue them so that we may get information about an airship. Because we need a new airship. Skill level 23, I'm getting up there with Monk. Skill level 5, Azure's still a rookie with Hunter. Same with Gatai with Knight. Skill level 6. Some of his stats have gone up a bit since we last checked. And skill level 21. Not only because it's harder to level up magic, because you can't just level it up by attacking, but also because he's gone off Black Wizard a lot more times than I've gone off Monk. Let's get to our ship. Hello. Oh no, we've been ambushed by griffins on the way back to our boat. Attack. 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 And... ooh, level 5 magic has been unlocked. Whenever we get to the point where we can learn that. I believe level 5 magic is still quite a ways off. These guys are absolutely no problem anymore. Ice 3! Yeah, they just got wrecked. We're well past the point of these weaklings. And probably these weaklings as well. Let's just do the exact same thing. The 3 fighters split up their attacks between them, and then Gaudia goes in to try and finish them off with powerful magic, except Gatai missed. He completely ruined everything. Oh well. Got a hard enough hit on the one that Daryl could then redirect his attack to supporting Gatai. Tackle! You've saved us, thank you! You've saved us, thank you! We have rescued the people of Tackle and the people of Argus. My husband is safe, thank you so much! Thanks, guys! Thanks to you, I've returned safely home from Hyne's castle. I don't remember if there's anything in here. No, it doesn't look like it. You truly saved us. Saved us. You guys, the guys who killed Hyne, you kick ass. We sure do. The people taken by Hyne have come back to us. Thanks, thanks. Elder, we have done it. You saved us all, blah, blah, blah. You saved us all, blah, blah, blah. You saved us. Nothing particularly interesting with the dialogue here. Everybody just thanking us for our heroic deeds. The town is still shit, but someday it may recover. And with that, our next destination is to take the Enterprise back to Argus so that we may speak with the king about procuring an airship.